Archangel Michael has an urgent message specifically for you today. Everything you've been experiencing lately, all those struggles, all those obstacles, all those closed doors, you've been seeing them completely wrong. The truth is going to shock you, but it will also set you free. You've been interpreting the signs backwards this entire time. Those feelings of being blocked, held back, or stuck in place. They weren't what you thought they were at all. Archangel Michael has been trying to show you the real truth, but fear kept clouding your vision. Those blue flashes of light you've seen, those sudden protective feelings that come from nowhere, the dreams with messages you couldn't quite understand. These were all Archangel Michael desperately trying to break through your misunderstanding. What you thought was blocking you was actually redirecting you. What felt like failure was actually divine protection working behind the scenes. Today is the day everything becomes clear. This message found you because divine timing demanded that you finally understand the truth. What you're about to learn will completely change how you see everything that's happened in your recent past. Stay with this message, because your breakthrough depends on understanding what Archangel Michael needs to reveal right now. Archangel Michael reveals something critical. Your misunderstanding of the situation has serious consequences. You've been fighting against divine help this whole time, thinking it was opposition working against you. This wrong perspective has been keeping real blessings at bay, pushing away the very things you've been praying for. The people you thought were against you? They weren't the real problem at all. The situations you labeled as failures? Those were actually divine course corrections steering you away from real danger. Your misinterpretation has been causing you to make decisions that delay your breakthrough. Every single time you resisted what seemed like an obstacle, you were actually pushing away a blessing in disguise. The more you fought against divine redirection, the harder your path became. This isn't about blaming you. It's about waking up to the truth before more time is lost. The enemy isn't who or what you thought it was. Your real challenge has been seeing through a distorted lens that turned help into harm and protection into punishment. Archangel Michael shows that if you continue with this misunderstanding, you'll stay stuck in repeating cycles. The breakthrough you've been praying for requires seeing things correctly first. Time is critical right now because major blessings are lined up and waiting, but they can't reach you until your perception shifts. Your spiritual sight needs correction, and it needs to happen now. Now think carefully about your recent past. Really look at those moments you called disasters. What happened after each one? That job you lost, that devastated you. Didn't something better eventually come along? That relationship that ended and broke your heart. Can you see now how it freed you from something toxic that would have destroyed you slowly? Remember that opportunity that fell through despite all your efforts? Then months later, something far superior appeared that you would have missed if you'd gotten that first thing. Notice the pattern here. Every closed door eventually showed you exactly why it needed to close. The people who left your life made room for better connections. Those financial struggles taught you lessons that are serving you right now. Even that health scare that frightened you, it forced lifestyle changes that actually improved your overall well-being. Pay close attention to how your worst moments always preceded your biggest growth periods. The timing of events you thought was all wrong was actually perfect divine orchestration. Think about those dreams where something or someone was guiding you away from danger you couldn't see. Those intuitive feelings that warned you away from things that seemed desirable at the time. How your pets suddenly acted strange around certain opportunities that later proved harmful. The persistent inner voice telling you to wait when you desperately wanted to rush forward. Those synchronicities appearing right before you were about to make potentially wrong decisions. The way certain plans fell apart no matter how hard you tried to force them. Looking back now with honest eyes, can you see the hidden protection in those moments? Archangel Michael was orchestrating divine protection disguised as obstacles. Your angels were working overtime to redirect you, but you kept interpreting their help as opposition. The pattern becomes crystal clear when you review your recent past with new eyes. Every single frustration was actually loving intervention from the spiritual realm trying to save you from something you couldn't see coming. Now Archangel Michael unveils the complete truth about what's really been happening in your life. You weren't being punished or blocked by the universe. You were being protected and prepared for something greater. Those enemies you identified weren't your real problem at all. The actual situation was your inability to recognize divine intervention for what it truly was. When you thought you were facing rejection, you were actually being redirected toward your real purpose. The delays weren't denials, they were divine timing alignments making sure everything would work together perfectly. What felt like devastating setbacks were actually setups for greater comebacks than you could have imagined. Your struggles weren't signs of spiritual abandonment but clear evidence of intense angelic involvement in your life. The confusion you felt was actually clarity trying to break through old patterns and outdated beliefs. You've been wearing spiritual glasses that distorted everything you looked at. Archangel Michael shows that fear created this distortion in your perception. Past wounds made you interpret new situations through an old, painful lens that no longer served you. You expected betrayal based on past experiences, so you saw betrayal even in divine protection. You anticipated failure because of old hurts, so you labeled divine redirections as failures. The spiritual realm had to work around your resistant mindset. Your angels couldn't force you to see truth. They could only keep protecting you while you learned. Every apparent obstacle was actually heaven's way of steering you away from real danger lurking ahead. The real enemy was the false perspective convincing you that help was harm and protection was punishment. Understanding this truth changes absolutely everything moving forward. This revelation isn't just interesting information, it's the master key unlocking your breakthrough. Archangel Michael needed you to see this clearly before the next major phase of blessings arrives. You can't receive what's coming while still operating from misunderstanding and distorted perception. The clarity you're receiving right now prepares you for immediate forward movement. This truth bomb is actually the greatest gift you could possibly receive at this moment in your life. Archangel Michael now offers specific practices to correct your spiritual vision permanently. Begin each morning by saying this prayer. Archangel Michael, help me see truth clearly today. Remove all distortion from my perception. Show me reality through divine eyes, not fearful ones. Let me recognize protection when it appears, even if it looks different than I expected. Practice the reverse interpretation exercise every single day. When something seems negative, immediately pause and ask yourself, how might this actually be divine protection working for me? Before reacting to apparent bad news, take a breath and request clarity from Archangel Michael. Visualize Archangel Michael placing clear spiritual lenses over your eyes each morning. See bright blue light clearing away all fog of misunderstanding from your mind. Create an evidence journal where you track how past problems eventually became blessings. This written proof helps retrain your brain to trust divine timing even when things seem wrong. When facing new obstacles, practice saying, "Thank you for protecting me from what I cannot see right now. I trust this is redirecting me toward something better." Wear or carry something blue as a constant reminder to see situations through Michael's clarity instead of fear's distortion. Before making important decisions, ask yourself, am I seeing this situation clearly, or am I looking through the lens of old wounds? Practice specific gratitude for closed doors and redirections, thanking the spiritual realm for protection you didn't recognize at the time. Each evening, Reflect on your day looking for hidden blessings you initially missed or misinterpreted. Notice when you start automatically interpreting things negatively. Catch yourself immediately. Replace that automatic negative interpretation with curious questions. What if this is actually good for me? What if this is protection? Use sound clearing with clear intention. All distorted perception is now cleared from my mind and spirit. Practice blue light meditation, focusing specifically on your third eye area and mental clarity. Visualize past failures surrounded by healing blue light, revealing their hidden blessings and protective nature. Ask Archangel Michael to send unmistakable signs when you're starting to misinterpret situations. Trust that immediate peace follows correct perception, while inner resistance and anxiety follow distorted seeing. Create a personal mantra. I see with divine eyes, not fearful ones. These practices actually rewire your automatic responses from fear-based reactions to truth-based wisdom. Within just days of consistent practice, you'll notice your first reaction to events shifting dramatically. Now that your perception is correcting, Archangel Michael can finally reveal what's been waiting for you this entire time. Specific blessings have been held back only by your misunderstanding. The moment you truly see clearly, these blessings can finally flow into your life without obstruction. A major opportunity is approaching right now that requires correct perception to recognize it. If you were still seeing through those distorted lenses of fear and past wounds, you would reject this blessing. You'd interpret it as another potential trick or danger. But with your newly cleared vision, you'll recognize it immediately as divine provision, perfectly timed for you. Relationships meant to support your true purpose are ready to appear in your life. These soul connections have been waiting patiently for you to stop misidentifying friends as enemies and protection as attack. Financial blessings that were blocked by your resistance to divine timing will now flow naturally. The creative ideas and inspired actions you've been missing will suddenly become completely obvious to you. Your spiritual gifts will amplify rapidly once fear stops distorting your perception of reality. Health improvements happen naturally when you stop creating stress by fighting against heaven's help. Family harmony increases dramatically as you stop interpreting normal situations as attacks or rejections. The mental peace you've been desperately seeking arrives automatically with correct understanding. Your sleep improves significantly when you're not mentally fighting against divine protection all night. Synchronicities multiply and become unmistakable. When you're finally aligned with divine flow instead of resisting it, Archangel Michael shows clearly that everything in your life speeds up dramatically once perception clears. What took years to accomplish while operating in misunderstanding can happen in just weeks when you see correctly. The life you've been praying for was always available. You just couldn't see the path because fear was distorting your vision. Your corrected vision is the master key that unlocks every door you thought was permanently sealed. From this moment forward, your default perspective shifts completely and permanently. You now approach every situation by first asking, "What is the divine truth here beyond my initial reaction?" Instead of reacting immediately from old wounds and fears, you pause and request clarity first. When things seem to go wrong, you automatically look for the hidden protection or redirection at work. You trust divine timing even when it contradicts your personal timeline and preferences. Archangel Michael walks beside you constantly, correcting any returning distortions before they take root again. You've developed real spiritual discernment that clearly distinguishes truth from fear-based interpretations. This new clarity becomes your permanent operating system, not just a temporary improvement. Old patterns of automatic misinterpretation lose their power over you completely. You quickly recognize when fear tries to distort your vision again and immediately correct it. Every challenge becomes a practical opportunity to practice seeing correctly and strengthening this new skill. You naturally help others learn to distinguish divine protection from actual obstacles. Your personal testimony about correcting perception becomes an inspiration to those around you. This shift in vision is permanent because you now know exactly what warning signs to watch for. You've graduated from spiritual confusion into mature understanding. The rest of your life unfolds from this corrected, solid foundation. Archangel Michael's guidance becomes clearer and stronger as your perception continues sharpening. You're now aligned with truth, and truth accelerates absolutely everything in your life. Archangel Michael stands with you right now at this critical turning point in your spiritual journey. The clarity you've received today must be actively reinforced immediately through consistent practice. Begin using the perception correction practices today, not tomorrow, not next week, but right now. This window of divine intervention is open, but it requires your active participation and commitment. Your willingness to see differently is what activates all those waiting blessings. The old misunderstandings are losing their grip on you, but you must consciously choose clarity every single day. Every moment you delay is another moment the old distortions could reassert themselves. Show your appreciation for this life, changing revelation through super thanks up to $20. This energy exchange strengthens your connection to continued divine guidance and protection. Archangel Michael's powerful protection and crystal, clear guidance remain actively working in your life. Trust completely that receiving this specific message today was divinely orchestrated for your highest good. Your breakthrough begins the exact moment you fully commit to seeing through spiritual eyes instead of fearful ones. The truth has set you free. Now walk confidently in that freedom.